kick off with the day's real events.
And about bloody well time too. We should be concentrating on the affairs of somebody in Labour. Because let's face it, we are all rulers and so therefore most important.
Even though you usually end up coming a cropper, because you're far too bumbling and incompetent, even by standards of other lefties.
Yes, I know, but you've got to persevere, haven't you? I've got standards.
Well, you Labour arseholes are bloody weird.
That old chestnut. We keep on hearing things like this in New Labour, and we're not impressed, I have to tell you, not in the slightest. Just because you out there in the public refuse to like and appreciate our quote-unquote nation wrecking, economy racking, social fabric tearing, moral destructing policies, well, you have to take out your frustrations on New Labour. It's absolutely childish and, well, I wouldn't expect many better from you out there in the public, but still, you're trying to pretend that you're capable of adding to the debate. Whenever we try to foist our quote-unquote unpopular measures on the likes of you, mate. And it's been exactly the same since 1997, and I can't be bothered with the headaches any longer.
Well, after the next general election, you won't have to.
You spiteful bastard. Just like other people out there in the public. I mean to say, even just to have a ghost of a chance of being re-elected at a general election, New Labour have had to have given at least the bare minimum of the kind of things the public want as well, mate. You see, that's why democracy in its current non-Euro federalist form doesn't work, mate. Because you have to kowtow to the bigoted public more than you should to keep the nation ticking over. You see? And then they wonder why we're quote-unquote betraying them by trying to force things through like the Lisbon Treaty without permission. So, well, they're only going to say no, aren't they? You see, public, you're just far too unreasonable, mate. You refuse to see what's being done for your best interest, even if you don't see it now. Vote Labour! Because we know what's right, and you don't. It's as simple as that, and until you come to terms with it, well, you're going to be crying at the sort of New Labour, aren't you? Yes, actually, yes. Cry, 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 mate! Let's see you shed tears of remorse for the stress and damage you've caused us, mate.
You cretinous socialist worm. If you have a hope in hell of being re-elected at the next election, you've got to be a bit more reasonable to the public. You've got to show outreach, really, to use one of your left-wing terms. You've got to be decent. You've got to be empathetic. And, well, you can't be overbearing.
Well, you don't have to teach me the lesson of public relations, mate, because I am all that decency crap personified. Oh, yes, mate. I'm burning hot. I could go out there and show the public what's what, mate, even if I have to stand on my soapbox all day and lecture them and shout at them until they get the right idea. Oh, yes, mate.
God.
Oh, yes, mate. I'm like a father figure to the public. Because am I always not proctoring them on their behaviour? Punishing them when they do or think the wrong thing, and praising them when they do the right thing. Admittedly, that's only once in a blue moon, but I mean, well, I've got to show them tough love. It's the only way they're going to learn. I like to bring my children up properly. To live up. And do you know what that arrogant Tory sod did? He looked down his nose at me, tut-tutted, and then he walked off. I don't believe it! The hypocritical charlatan, because I happen to know that he believes much the same thing about the public himself. Which is why you should never re-elect the Tories, because you just can't take them at face value. You've got to stick with Labour.